I don't tell this story often, mostly because I still don't understand it. It happened about 3 years ago when I moved into a small rental house on the outskirts of town. It wasn't anything fancy, just a cheap, older home with creaky floors and outdated fixtures. The kind of place you convince yourself has character so you don't think about how eerie it feels at night. I wasn't the superstitious type, and I definitely didn't believe in ghosts. But from the first night, I knew something wasn't right, because I wasn't alone in that house, and I don't mean ghosts, I mean something else, something that watched. The first few days were normal enough. I moved in, set up my furniture, and settled into the quiet. But at night, the house felt too quiet. You know how most houses make noise, the hum of appliances, the creak of settling wood? This house didn't. It was silent, the kind of silence that makes your ears ring. Then the little things started. I'd wake up in the morning and find kitchen cabinets open that I was sure I had closed. My keys would be in the wrong place, small enough things that I could brush them off. But then it got worse. One night, I woke up to the sound of soft creaking. At first, I thought it was just the house settling. But as I lay there, still half asleep, I realized it was coming from inside my room. I turned my head, groggy, confused. My closet door was open. Not all the way, just an inch or two. I always kept it shut. Something about open closets in the dark has always unsettled me, so before going to bed, I would make sure it was firmly closed. But now, in the dim glow of the streetlight filtering through my blinds, I could see the thin sliver of darkness beyond the doorway. I got up, heart pounding a little harder than I wanted to admit, and shut it. I even wedged a chair against the door, just to be safe. The next morning, the chair was moved back to its original spot, and the closet door was open again. At this point, I was starting to feel uneasy. I worked late shifts, so I'd get home past midnight most nights, and every night as I lay in bed, I'd hear it. Soft footsteps in the hallway, just slow, deliberate steps like someone was walking just outside my room. The first time I heard them, I thought maybe it was just an old house settling. But the longer I listened, the more I realized it wasn't random creaks. It sounded like someone pacing back and forth. I started locking my bedroom door at night. The next morning, I found the hallway light on. I never turned it on. A few nights later, I came home and noticed something off the floor. There were scuff marks on the hardwood, long streaks like something heavy had been dragged. They led from the closet door toward the wall. My stomach twisted. I pushed everything out of my mind. I told myself I was being paranoid. Maybe I had dragged something without realizing it. Maybe the footsteps were my imagination. Then I woke up to something worse. That night, I fell asleep with my headphones in, trying to drown out my own thoughts. Sometime in the middle of the night, I woke up. I don't know what pulled me from sleep, but as soon as I opened my eyes, I felt it. Something was in the room with me. I lay there completely still listening, and then I heard it breathing, slow, shallow. Just beyond my bed, I couldn't move, couldn't breathe. Then, a soft creak, like weight shifting on the floorboards. I lunged for the lamp on my nightstand, flicking it on, but the room was empty. I barely slept the rest of the night. The next morning, I was done. I told myself I would pack up and leave that night. I didn't care if I lost my deposit. But before I could, something happened that made me leave immediately. I got home late again. The house was dark, cold. I walked into my bedroom, threw my bag on the floor, and froze. The closet door was wide open, and this time there were fingerprints on the inside, long streaks in the dust, like someone had been pulling the door shut from the inside. I grabbed my bag, my keys, and I left. I didn't even pack. A few weeks later, after I had settled into a new place, my phone rang. It was my old landlord. "Hey," he said, "I know you left in a hurry, but I have to ask." I didn't want to hear it. "Did you open the basement door?" My stomach tightened. "What basement?" I asked. There was a pause. Then, in a quiet voice, he said, "The one behind the bedroom closet.